Everybody, Steve here. So, sad to say, Bella's not here. She went back to school. So it's just me, again, solo in the kitchen. The ravishing Mrs. Ritter is out and about getting some coffee or something today. I've been studying for my flying, the stuff I'm gonna need to do. But while I'm taking a quick break from studying, I'm gonna try a recipe. I've been trying this Carnivore Code recipe book. This guy's talking about. It's basically paleo with fruits, minimal vegetables, mostly meat, cheese, butter, and fruit. So I've been trying that. I've been doing it a little bit here for a couple days. It's feeling pretty good so far. A little bit of the weight's starting to come off now, which is a good thing. So what I want to try today is Swedish roast beef. And I'm going to, this one, that basically the idea was back when in Sweden sometime, a guy had carved himself a moose steak, brought it in, put it in the oven, cooked it, forgot about it, and it was well done, but flavorless. And the wife stepped in, tried to save the day. And it's basically a roast beef cooked and then brined and then served cold. That's the idea. Intrigued me when I saw it. I can't wait to try it. So I'm going to flip the camera around and we'll get cracking. Recipe and directions are all down below. And don't forget, hit the thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. If you don't like it, just keep it to yourself. So flipping the camera around, let's get started. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, this is beef eye round roast here. Got from Costco, pretty good deal. And all I'm going to do is just simply salt it. That's all I'm going to do is just put a little salt on it. Kind of rub this in. Salt the outside. This is just kosher salt. I've got the oven preheated preheating. Well, it's heating up right now as we speak. Going up to 375. Very nice. And then I'm going to just add, once I salt it, then I'm going to just toss it in the pot here and put it in the oven. I'm going to cook it for about 2.5 hours or so. I'll check it and see. And that's the idea. And then while that's going, I'm going to make the brine. So stand by one. I'll be right back. Okay, now it's time to make the brine. The roast is in the oven right now. So what I'm going to do, I've got 2 cups of water. Going to go ahead and put it on the stove. I got it in a good sized saucepan here. Now to this, I'm going to add my spices. This is for the brine. Okay, so I'm going to add 1/2 cup of salt. And again, it's for the brine, for it to soak in. So 1/2 cup of salt. I'm going to add 3, and I kind of put it all in the bowl here. I've got 3 bay leaves that I'm going to go ahead and put in. 1/2 cup of salt. I've got, I didn't have fresh thyme or rosemary, so I used the dry stuff. So I've got 1 tablespoon of thyme, tablespoon of dried rosemary, and all this is all obviously down. Look down below; it's in the directions, all the ingredients and everything. 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and all of that's going to go in the water, and we're going to bring that up to a boil. Kind of mix this up, make sure it's all mixed in here. Yeah, I served, I simmed with a couple of guys there in the UAE from Sweden, Jürgen and Eric. I'm sorry, Jürgen. And I'll say Eric. Erickson was his last name. Jürgen was there the longest, but anyway, got to talk with them about life in Sweden and all, and they talked about one thing I've always wanted to try, just to say I tried, is that surströmming, that fermented fish dish. They talked about that quite a bit. Of course, I'm intrigued. You can find plenty of videos online of people trying that and smelling it. It smells horrid. Anyway, so all that's going to go in. We're going to bring this up to a boil, and And as soon as it comes up to a boil, we'll take it off and be right back. So stand by one. Okay, so we brought this up to a boil. Okay, just up to a boil. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off. Now, to this, I'm going to add 2 cups of ice water. Just going to pour that in. Kind of get it cooled down. I'm going to let that sit for 5 minutes. And then we'll add in our last ingredient, which is honey. Now, that's a big thing in this guy's, the Carnivore Code style diet here is he doesn't use sugar. He uses honey in a lot of things. So this honey, all natural type stuff for sweeteners. So, I don't know, does stevia, does that count as all natural? I guess it is. A lot of people swear by it, but he's, you know, I'm a big fan of honey, so I'm gonna be using that. So let this sit for 5 minutes. We'll be right back and we'll stir in our honey and then our brine will be ready. So again, I remember the guys, I'm sorry, Frederick, I forget your name, man. Frederick Eriksson is his name, and Frederick and Jürgen. So those are the 2 Swedish guys I work with. Good men. So anyway, we'll be back 5 minutes. Stand by. Okay, 5 minutes, back again. Now I'm going to stir in 3 tablespoons of honey. Now I use this some local raw unfiltered honey. You can see there, raw and unfiltered. That's what you're looking for. You stuff it, like I said, stuff you get in stores these days. If it doesn't say raw and unfiltered, it's probably mixed with corn syrup. So you just reuse this little bear thing here. It's like testing my kung fu grip here, trying to pour this out. So and I realized if I could shoot a little shot of Pam into this thing, it would come out easier, but don't have any Pam. Don't use it. Not normally. So 2. Yeah, we visited, we were up visiting the mother-in-law up in Tennessee. That's where I was this weekend for Thanksgiving. We stopped by a guy's like the bee whisperer. He's got a bunch of hives all over his land and everything else. We bought some honey from him, and I spent probably half an hour talking to this guy about raising bees. That's the plan one day on the Ritter farm. Have some bees. I'm going to put a little bit more in here just to make up for stickage. That's the plan one day. Have some bees, raise some honey. Because man, we got like 4 jars of his honey. And there's nothing like real fresh honey. It is good, Clark. All right. Honey's in. I'm going to mix that up a little bit. Again, that's room temperature. And all we're waiting for now is the roast to finish. And we'll put this brine in with it. So that's the next step. We'll come back when the roast is done, and then we'll brine this up and get back to it. So be right back. Stand by one. All right, back again. So I've cooked this for 2.5 hours. I turned the oven off and then let it cool down while I was working on some other things. I've just got a bowl here in a freezer bag, and I'm going to just put this roast right in here. And I'm going to just take the brine and I'm going to just pour it right in. If I can do it without spilling it. Now the idea is I'm going to completely cover the roast with the brine. I want to kind of pinch this off and get the air out as much as I can. And I'm putting it in a bowl here so I don't spill any of this in the refrigerator, which would quickly draw the wrath of the ravishing Mrs. Ritter. I want to try to keep the fridge clean and brine free. So try to pinch this shut here, get a good seal so I can have a time with this. Usually you just line the lines up here. I think Got some of that grease from the roast on my fingers. Anyway, seal this up, and then in the fridge it goes, and I'm gonna put it in there for 24 hours. So I'll just put it in there all day, and then I'll take it out tomorrow and slice it up. This must be one of those double seal bags. Anyway, seal it up, cover it up, get it all covered, make sure it's all covered and brined up. And I'll probably turn it over tomorrow to make sure it gets all covered. But the idea is that meat's gonna soak up that brine. The brine's gonna get all in the meat, and it'll add flavor. That was the whole idea, was that the husband cooked the roast all night, no flavors, no spices, nothing, forgot about it, and the wife had to come in and brine it and add some flavor to it. That's the idea. So anyway, in the fridge it goes, and we'll check on it tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow, but it'll be here in a second for you, so stand by one. Okay, so this has been sitting, here it is, close shot here. Ravishing Miss Ritter doing filming now, thank you. This has been sitting all night in the refrigerator, well actually all day, so 24 hours. And basically I'm gonna take this out of here, and it says to pat it dry with just a paper towel. So it's already cooked. So again, the idea is you cook it ahead of time and then brine it. That's the idea with this, right? So just a paper towel, kind of pat it dry. So it's already cooked. Now I'm gonna take my knife, super sharp knife, and I'm gonna be real careful this time, I promise, and cut this, and you want to cut it against the grain. That's nice, pretty sharp, so. Already cooked. I'm going to cut this now. Now I left the fat on it from when it cooked, so I'm going to just kind of cut that off because I don't want to eat much cold fat. So again, this is cold. This has been in the fridge. I'm going to cut these up in smaller pieces. Really watching my finger, being careful this time. And I'm going to try it. So let's see how this is. Yeah, the flavor's all through it. And it's got a nice, it's got that cinnamon, nutmeg, got a nice saltiness to it. That's tasty flavor. This is a neat experiment. So sandwiches, I think I'm gonna have this with some avocado tonight. And I mean, over salad maybe, on a sandwich, over rice, all kind of ways you can do this. But this was out of the Carnivore Code book. So this is what it looks like. It was cooked through, brined through. Flavors all through it. All through it. Tasty. It's a winner. You think? You like it? Was that a yes? Oh, you do? Okay. I'll let you try a piece here in a second. Anyway, this is a Colonel saying over and out.